All right, let's jump right into this explainer by establishing one absolutely crucial fact. The interface is the literal gateway to your network. Honestly, absolutely nothing happens until that interface is up and running. So whether you're dealing with a basic local area network or a massive wide area connection, mastering interface configuration, it's the foundational skill every single network engineer literally has to possess. Today, we're opening up Chapter 5 of our professional reference deck, and we're going to completely demystify interface configuration. We're going to use a real-world, over-the-shoulder approach to look at exactly what a network engineer types when they need to make the network come alive, and, just as importantly, how they fix it when the whole thing breaks down. So here's our flight plan for today. 1. Setting up a new WAN link. 2. Troubleshooting connectivity. 3. The pro move, loopbacks. And 4. The golden sequence. Section 1. Scenario, new WAN link. Bringing an interface online. Let's kick things off with a classic day-in-the-life scenario. Imagine you've just plugged in a brand new WAN link on a router's Gigabit Ethernet 0/0 port, and you need to bring it online. To do this, we follow a pretty strict 4-step workflow. First, we enter the interface configuration mode. Second, we add a description to document it for the future. Third, we assign the IP address provided by the ISP. And fourth, we wake the interface up. Let's look at the exact syntax for these steps. You start in global config and just type interface Gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Next up, description WAN link to ISP to label it. Then IP address 203.0.113.2, followed by its subnet mask to lock in the identity. Now check out that final command. Router interfaces are administratively down by default. They're basically asleep, so you absolutely must explicitly issue a no shutdown command to bring the link to life and actually let traffic flow. But wait, our job isn't done quite yet. Any senior engineer knows you never walk away without verifying your work. You'll want to immediately run the command show IP interface brief. What you're really looking for here is for both the status and the protocol columns to read up and up. That tells you, without a doubt, that the port is physically active and logically talking to the network. Section 2. Troubleshooting connectivity. Finding the broken link. Of course, networks don't always behave perfectly, do they? Just when your new setup is humming along, a user reports a downed connection. Well, time to shift gears into troubleshooting mode. When connectivity fails, we don't just guess. To isolate the fault domain quickly, we use a layered approach. First, find the specific broken port. Next, check the physical hardware for errors. And if the hardware looks good, we move up the stack to inspect the IP layer logical routing rules. This right here brilliantly illustrates the difference in what you're looking for during that very first step. If you run your verification command and see a definitive down-down state, it's telling you a cable might just be unplugged, or maybe hardware has failed outright. But an up-up state, where traffic is still failing, that means your physical cable is perfectly fine. It's a logical rule, like an access control list that might be blocking your data. Let's dig into the physical side first. If you have a down interface, you run show interfaces on that specific port. If you spot high CRC errors in the statistics, you immediately know you're dealing with a physical layer issue. Basically, this means you need to get out of your chair and physically inspect the hardware. You're looking for a bad cable, maybe a faulty SFP module, or a duplex mismatch between switches. On the flip side, what if the physical layer is flawless but users still can't connect? Well, running show IP interface against that port might reveal something hiding in plain sight. An active inbound access control list, maybe one literally named block_all. I mean, that easily explains why your packets are dropping. The door is physically open, but the security guard is turning everyone away. Section 3. The pro move. Loopbacks. Ensuring router stability. So now that we've sorted the physical and logical issues, let's look at a fantastic preventative measure engineers use to ensure rock-solid stability. This is the pro move, the loopback interface. The source material gives us this massive operational hint for advanced setups. It points out that relying on a physical cable for your core routing identity is just too risky. Think about it. If a backhoe accidentally cuts your WAN link, you definitely don't want your entire routing protocol to collapse just because one physical port went offline. The crucial takeaway here is that a loopback is a virtual interface. It lives entirely inside the router software. It ensures your routing protocols like OSPF always have a consistent, unchanging router ID. Because it literally doesn't rely on hardware, A loopback interface never goes down. Well, unless the entire router loses power, of course. Setting it up is honestly just as simple as configuring our physical WAN link. You type interface loopback 0, assign an IP, and issue that no shutdown command. But take a look at the subnet mask we're using here. 255, 255, 255, 255. That's a /32 subnet mask. It represents a single, isolated, and highly stable IP address used specifically to identify this exact piece of equipment. Section 4. The Golden Sequence. 5 essential verification commands. To wrap up our operational toolkit, let's review what the source material officially calls the Golden Sequence. This really builds a complete picture of device health. These are the top 5 definitive commands every engineer should run, in this exact order, the very moment they log in to an unknown or newly inherited device. It's basically your ultimate orientation sequence. First up, show version. This acts as your introduction. It tells you exactly what hardware model you're dealing with, the software version, how long it's been running, and, crucially, why it last rebooted. Second, as we've already seen, show IP interface brief gives you the immediate pulse of all your physical ports in one super clean summary. Next, step 3, show IP route. This reveals the brain of the operation, how the router actually navigates the network and where its default paths point. Then, step 4 is show running config. This command reviews the full active configuration currently residing in RAM. It shows you every single active rule, password, and parameter powering the device right at this second. Between these commands, you can answer about 80% of all questions on the network. Finally, step 5 is show log. Reviewing the system log surfaces the hidden history of the device. It alerts you to interfaces that have been flapping up and down while you weren't looking, hardware faults, or even unauthorized access attempts that might have happened over the weekend. It's your security camera, basically. We've really built a rock-solid foundation today for setting up, verifying, and troubleshooting interfaces. You now know exactly how to make the network hum and how to keep it stable. But this leaves us with a critical, pressing question for any modern network engineer. How do we actually harden and secure these gateways once they're operational so that external threats don't take them down? Well, we'll have to explore that security toolkit in our next explainer.